Hello people of YouTube land. It is I back once again for, well, the third video. Well, technically the first one was a test and the second one was technically the first one. So my second proper attempt at a video. Yes, I'm just rambling on as usual. Hello, and this is my haul for my first ever auto assembly. So I've got to admit though, a fantastic weekend. I will go thank everyone for actually making it so great, but I will also save all my auto assembly thoughts for a video I'll hopefully make tomorrow. I will apologise if I come across a bit dull or sick, as I have that pre-auto assembly lack of sleep, exhaustion, headache and feeling queasy. I've tried to sleep but no one seems to let me sleep today. But, well, where do I start first? First of all, I'm quite proud to say that actually most of the items I did purchase came from the fantastic people at Toy-Fu. And as anyone should probably know by now, that all the money they raise, all the profit they make, actually gets donated to Mary's Meals, which is a charity for helping children in Africa actually get meals. So I actually counted up today, and actually it was slightly disappointed. I thought I spent more money there, but I did spend between £123 and £126 there. So I'm still proud of that, and also I was quite proud to actually see that some of the items I donated were actually popular and went quite early. As I had a boxed animated Black Arachne, I just thought, well, got it for a £5 on eBay, but the same day actually to win two bids, one boxed, one unboxed. So I kept the unboxed one myself, and I thought, well, it's lying there, I'll donate this one as it'll be nice and get more money for it. So I was quite proud that it actually went rather quickly. So at Toy-Fu, where shall I start? Well, I may as well actually get this out of the way. Before Toy-Fu, anyone actually has read this Daily Straxis by Mr. Andrew Turnbull, a nice fantastic comical book about Straxis and his adventures of being a head in a jar. So even so, I may as well start first by saying I picked up this character for £8, which is actually, even though his axe is broken, but I guess that could be easily replaceable. Fantastically well little figure. I wasn't really interested at first, but you think all the toys these days that all they have the heads on ball joints easy come off. The one toy whose head you think would come off easily is screwed on. But yeah, he's an interesting little figure, which if it wasn't for Mr. Turnbull's amazing, interesting comic, I probably wouldn't care less about, but he's a fun guy. So I just thought I'd get the comic out of the way. So far though, I actually did go in with a few ideas of toys I wanted. One I didn't know Toy-Fu had, which was animated leader Ultra Magnus. Okay, well, there is one of these panels is the only thing that is missing. There was two different Magnuses. There was this one that didn't have the hammer, that was £20, and they did also have the Roadbuster version for £10, including the hammer. But as I did say to them, I was undecided which one to get. Come fair enough. Actually ended up going 20. Well, they ended up reducing the other the Roadbuster Ultra Magnus to £5, and instead giving me, well, for £25 if I got the hammer as well. So finally, one of the characters I wanted was Ultra Magnus, and especially got in the fantastic original colours. The only problem I have though is I need more shelves, as my animated Autobot shelf is already full. I already have, well, the big silly Optimus Prime and Leader Bulkhead actually on the cart sitting on the floor, so it looks like he'll also be joining them. Another one actually I was quite glad to get, and actually managed to pick up at the good people at Toy-Fu. Animated Leader Megatron, complete with blades. That was nice of to be £15, and it comes with actually a voice chip as well working. Magnus's doesn't work, but I suppose I'll need to actually try. This could just be a dead battery, but I don't really care if it makes noise or not. As long as the figure looks nice. Let's see what else. Oh, well, maybe a bit not the best of conditions, but did manage to pick up a nice Cyclonus. Some sticker wear, and one of the arms is a bit loose. But again, you don't mind paying that for it, as everything got there goes to nice people, nice charities. I'm going to ramble a bit, as again I'm still a bit nervous of doing videos, still new at it, but hopefully I'll get a bit more natural sometime soon. Well, the only deluxe Prime figure actually I have yet to get is Hot Shot. I did manage to pick up Bumblebee and B&M when they had them for $2.99, thanks to Mr. Dark Ages, well, he was the one that pointed out that the DVDs they had contained in them were not playable over here, so they were just the figures. So I picked up the Bumblebee. I was not that keen on him. Well, he was nice, but for that price, he did seem a bit naff and yellow, and even a prime shelf, he seemed to stand out like a sore thumb. But as for £3, managed to actually pick up Hotshot. I thought, well, because so far I picked most of them cheap. I actually managed to get all the Prime Western releases deluxes that were in normal shops. At first I wasn't interested in Prime figures, but thanks to Mr. Millman and the Moonbase 2 constantly going about how hard the VCon was to find, last year, about November, I did go in Argos and managed to actually find, just wandering about, because I don't know if other people's have it, but my certain one always had a certain display with toys. Just rambled about, looked, and there was the VCon on top of the shelf for £10, so I originally got him thinking, yeah, a lot of people looking for him, maybe sell him on eBay, make money, maybe give him to someone who's looking for him for £10, but then I thought, you know what, I'm going to open him and see what all the fuss is about. Big mistake is, now, this is actually the last, ended up, well, even though I even paid some figures from Bad Wars like £6.50 for Arachnid. So we did get some figures, so not the best, but definitely a lovely paint job and looks much better than the Bumblebee. Let's see other Toy Fu ones. This is the actual only figure was actually, well, this is why I wasn't sure the price, only one I'm not sure about. I believe it's Skyquake. I've got to admit though, not really big on characters from G1 who weren't the cartoons, so please don't shout at me for going, no, that's this person. But again, he was at the same, I just thought, £6. It was between £3 and £6, and funny enough though, it was actually only read the first issue of Lance Tester that signed the records the night before, as he did have an amusing sticker saying, as killed by Overlord, but I can't actually remember, there was some amusing sticker on the price anyway. So, there is only one though that actually I just can't remember how much I paid for, as I did keep going back and buying a lot from there. Also managed to pick up a lovely boxed Red Alert. Granted it was £15 as it was a reissue and I believe his gun is missing, but I'll be honest with you, when it comes to certain G1 characters, I'm not really fussed if they actually do come with the weapons, because they can get them there, and come on, some of them these days you don't mind, but every one I've bought brand new I still have weapons for, but well, what do you expect for toys, especially it was cheaper, probably actually half the price than most of the other reissues they had due to the weapons missing. Let's see, what else actually pick up Toy Fu. Yep, here's also here £6 for, I'm actually not sure which I know there was a few different versions of kind of the Compethicons reissued, but I'm not sure if this is the, well, I believe, on the top of my head, I'm guessing this would be an actual one of the RID variants. So I know that would make me have 4 of the variants of the RID limbs, just not actually the main Mega Octane or any of the parts. That was £6, a fantastic little figure. This one actually I picked up, actually right at the end, the very one I bought, and probably the actual, I believe the last toy sold at Toy Fu this year. Which actually is a remold, I believe they said it was an eHobby reissue of Skids called Screech. Fantastic name. Come on. But how many of you there didn't actually hear Screech and start having the Sight Saved by the Bell theme tune come through your head? But that was £10, again, surprise. Hello, well this is actually technically a re-recording of the middle, so I hope this picture is actually not as blurred as the last time I tried this. But I now actually was in the process of talking about combining parts with the camera cut off previously. So Toy Fu for actually £4 each. I managed to pick up some awesome G1 limbs. Characters. 2 I was mainly looking for, I managed to get Blades. Even though technically it's Blade, he does have 1 blade missing. But nice looking for him. And Streetwise, so well, stickers are a bit worse for wear. But again, that now means I actually have the 5 Defensor limbs. I just couldn't actually find any of the parts that actually can form the combiner. But that's something I was looking for. Great. Also managed to pick up Sinner Twin and Cutthroat. Ooh, sorry, I don't know why this stupid Japanese Seacon theme spoke my head there. Actually, I really should have checked these figures as well, but I believe that's Kraken, Oh, by the way, some of the Japanese, I'll use some of the Japanese names from the Master Force figures, as I know some people might be more familiar with the comics. I'm not so much. So some of the figures as well, like this couple of 2 Pretenders later on, I'll actually refer to as the Japanese names, as that's what I more know them as. And the last combiner bit I managed to actually look up online is, let's face it, how many of us can actually know which Aerobot's which? But I also managed to pick up Fireflight. I do actually have, I'm looking at it, these actually seem bigger. But I do actually have to pick up some knockoff kind of Aerobot limbs, and oh my god, they were terrible. Obviously Poundland quality, and they all snapped with the arms. So it's nice to actually at least have one Aerobot that's not cheap plastic. And again, the fine people at Toy Foo managed to help me with one piece I was looking for. As a few years ago, my Blastoff fell off the shelf. Well, it was on a combiner limit and fell off the shelf. And I don't know if you can see that there, but the actually top of the port snapped off. So this was actually managed to find at Toy Foo for £1. So I've already last night sat and replaced the arm. So now I have a complete Blastoff. So thank you very much for that. And another junker I picked up at Toy Foo, as well, I already replaced last night, as I did manage to pick up a Warpath. As you can see, limbs were useless and thin. So Toy Foo did have one without the top on, which is nice and stiff. So all I had to do was, well, place the barrel on the head. Although the head still is loose, but come on, for a near 30-year-old toy, probably been well played with. What do you expect? Fantastic though, and I believe looking the last item I would have purchased at Toy Foo, well, not the last, but the last one we will show, is Grimlock's gun. When I first got into collecting about 10 years ago, I managed to actually pick up Grimlock on eBay for £8. The only thing I would say though is the actual description never actually said what he came with, just a picture of him. So it was a nice surprise when he actually showed up complete with everything but the box. But also, one of my dogs went on a rampage when he was a pup, destroying such figures as RID Prowl, was completely ripped to bits, a little PVC Megatron ripped to bits, Slag, as I mentioned previously, is no longer horny, and as you can see, hopefully see there, Grimlock's double barrel gun only has one barrel. So for £3 it was nice to actually pick up that. Pick up a new double barrel gun for him. But again, I also have to say thank you for all those fine people at Toy Foo for all their hard work over the weekend. Right, as I said though, most of this other stuff now I would have liked to pick up there, but they never had it. Sorry, I'm just dropping bits and pieces. But I did manage to pick up this figure on eBay a few months ago. It did say in the description the axe was missing and broken. But it wasn't until it showed up I actually realised that it failed to have this shield put on the roof. It's also trying to use the shield. But the figure was only £5, I believe, at the fans table. So I thought, well, if I'm going to need that, I may as well just buy it. That was cheap and give someone else the parts. If anyone would like a body of this for any reason that doesn't come with the roof, let me know and I'll give it to you. It's no use to me now. Actually, the spindle I'd covered. From Mr. Millman, as I previously said, the man who actually probably kept going about and made me start getting to actually buying the Prime figures. I bought Beast Hunter, sorry, I thought I heard one of the dogs barking. I managed to purchase. No idea what he's doing. So I managed to actually purchase Prime Beast Hunter Smokescreen. For some reason he didn't like that figure. And also Mr. Jide, I believe you got it from, didn't like it either, but I like him. Interesting transformation mode. Though it is weird having his chest was supposed to be the roof on the front, but very nice. Also came with a stupid piece of plastic, but let's face it, that's getting chucked in a box and never used again. Another animated figure I was hoping to get, and I finally did obtain, was Shockwave for £10. And another figure that I've seen thought, oh, £10 there, go £10 at one table, went back to Toy Foo and said, oh, do you have this figure? Even if it was a few pounds more, would have happily paid more money for them to go to charity. But they didn't. But I've got to say though, the best thing I love about the Shockwave figure is the head. Because I do love though how it goes from the Shockwave face, you push it down, sorry let's get it down, and it turns to the Long Arm Prime face. That's a fantastic little feature, I really like that. From Mr. Logan Blaze, the Sugar Bear was doing, I believe it was Sugar Bear Sack. Well, last year it was a picnic box this time. It was a put your hand in and take the first thing you got. I came with some Optimus Prime head sculpt. The top of it actually is horns. Well, antennae would probably be more actually the better word. It was actually snapped off, but still a very nice sculpted figure for nothing. Thank you very much for that. On the Tombola, on the Friday night, I actually bought 3 tickets, well, for 4 tickets, and I actually won 3 items. I usually don't win anything, so it was nice. I did only keep 1 item for myself, which was a picture of Cyclonus, which was signed by Jack Angel, who voiced him in the Rebirth. The other figures I did win was actually a Creon. Again, I only own one Creon, Blast Off, and Sod's Law. The Creon I won was Blast Off. So I gave him away to someone who didn't have him, as well, no use to me, and all the money already went to good cause charity. Same as well, the other thing I actually won was, I'm not really sure, because I usually don't collect anything smaller than deluxes, is either, I'm not sure if it was the Legion or I believe it was the Commander Prime, Optimus Prime. But again, hopefully that's found a new home for a nice child to go have fun with. Right, back to more purchases. Let's see, from Mr. Time Lord Mike Clark, sorry. I actually picked up some pre-arranged figures, Dirge and Thundercracker for £10 each. Again, I was looking for more G1 stuff that I got a lot of, as my G1 collection's not great, and yeah, let's face it, 32, this is actually the more figures that got me into. So fantastic, thank you for those. He did also actually have a Skywarp that I was a beaten to, but well, still got 2 figures for a cheap price, and there goes something off the shelf. I want it to be different. That's what I like being. I don't like being like everyone else. I like to be outside the box. Even though I already own this figure, and I already own the Japanese Arms Micron Purple Terracon version, I decided to actually buy a Box Prime Cliff Jumper. Why? Because nearly everyone was signing up to get Steve Bloom to sign Starscream boxes and Starscream related items. I want it to be different. Anyone who's seen Prime probably knows Starscream killed Cliff Jumper. How many times has Starscream mentioned at the show? Numerous times. So I thought, let's have Steve Bloom sign the box of the character he wanted to kill. Well, he did kill. Right, well, I apologise again, as I'm using actually a 10GB normal camera, not video camera, and it keeps cutting out after about 9 minutes and so forth. So this is the 3rd time I've had to record this part, so I apologise, I'm actually kind of a bit fed up with it, so I'm just going to rush through it. Right, the only person I can really think of in the bar on Friday night, Mr. Ray, I believe it's a very Irish man with piercings, I believe his YouTube handle is I Love Mess. We're trying to get rid of some to pretend to toys, and just said there's a bag full for 5 for £20. So within that I got some character, I should look it up, I've already forgot his name, and I can't be bothered checking again, as some yellow guy. So I got that. Chain Claw with the figure inside. Carnivac also with the figure, and apparently the tail, that's quite hard, apparently you don't get many of those with the tail's hard to find. Blood, I'll get it. I know he's Bomb Burst, but again, Master Force. And finally, I'm sure he's called Waver, but for some reason Diver kept popping into my head. Unless it's Diver, I'm getting confused. I don't know, Wave Rider, and I'm sure it's Diver. But maybe I've got that slightly wrong, I'm just having a brain fart with his name. So apologise. Right. Also, thank you to Mr. Dan Gilvazan. I bought this book, Bumblebee and Me. I look forward to giving this a read. Be a nice insight, fantastic actually meeting Mr. Gilvazan. And, well, I'll say last but not least, but this last section, because again there's a bit recorded before this, that I'm actually going to stick on to the end, or maybe I'd be better sticking this part at the end again. I'm too tired, I don't care. But thank you for the lovely Miss Lady Wreck, Amy. Gave me the issue 1 of Last Stand of the Wreckers. I couldn't sleep Saturday night. Well, first met Amy Saturday night, it was a bit nervous, like saying, the Queen of Comics, what do you say to them but the first question she said to me was, do you read the comics? I could hear on the headlights go, no, thinking what my repercussions going to be. And rather Ken, she dipped into her bag, gave me this and said, read, I'm going to give you this, read that, and I thought it was fantastic. I was actually looking, probably expect to try to pick up Last Stand of the Wreckers, or at least one more than meets the eye trains this weekend, but when I looked for them on Sunday, they're all gone. Obviously popular, but again, thank you very much for that. Right, and my last purchase seems to be, I've come across, or I just started on the camera count again. I'd probably actually, if I'm going to do more of these, probably invest in a proper camera that actually will stay on, but I did pick up, actually it was the last, I did think about it for a few days on Sunday, it was the last one I actually seen lying about, was the Silas breakdown. Ideally it would actually be nice to get the normal breakdown, but Silas would do nicely as well for one mode. Fantastic looking figure, looks a bit menacing. And I do love how actually you can see, well, you can barely see Silas's face sculpted in. It's a nice touch, though. I have since made up his arm micron and stuck stickers on it. That's a weird looking thing. Still not put the stickers on him yet, but yeah, I'll wait till I'm more awake and actually maybe had a decent sleep before I try that. Mess it up, so that was a fantastic buy. Something did come on, but I was disappointed I didn't manage to get a jet vehicle on, but there's always next year. And last thing I will point out, even though it technically wasn't an AA purchase, it was something I had been looking for a while, and I did not see any of this figure at AA either. On Thursday I went to B&M to actually get some shopping done, Asda down that way in my town. So, you know, get some snacks, sweets, pot noodles, juice for taking down on the trip, and actually for over the weekend. And sod's law, the day before I go to the big convention with Robot Toys, I finally find Skyquake sitting on a shelf. Was not expecting him for £13. So I know a lot of people have been looking for this figure, can't find him. So just to let you know, if you are looking for him, try B&M. As I did hear a while ago, Home Bargains had them for $11.99, but my shop never had them. They just actually stuck knockout. All was on a knockout price shelf and bumped him up to the same price. So yes, but actually I really enjoyed my first weekend at AA. Fantastic meeting lots of people, which I'll probably put more on a video I might do tomorrow or the next day. But and hopefully this has not been too painful to watch and gibbering idiot stabber and trip all over his words talking about toys. Thank you very much for paying attention and goodbye.